All right, shalom, shalom. Excuse me. Shalom, Akim. This is your brother Zakaria Allah, branched out here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, coming with another lesson through the Spirit, and Lord willing, this be edifying to the Lord's elect. Before I get started with this lesson, I want to give our praise, honor, and glory unto our power Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakaha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and who teach well. All right. Shalom to the Akim out there that's pushing the truth, that's laboring in the word, and that's pushing the gospel of the great kingdom that's to come. Shalom to the Akwath that's listening in, that's remaining true to the faith, they're remaining faithful and submissive to their husbands and guiding their children. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes that scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. To you Israelite foreigners out there who live among the heathen and who look like those heathen nations. But your lineage goes back to the progenitors of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel through the line of your fathers. I want to say peace and blessings to you all, Barakatham. All right. And, I actually didn't want to touch on this situation with this young man, Nolan Wells, again. You know what I'm saying? I just want to let this thing coast on and do what it's doing, man. But the spirit brings you back, you know what I'm saying, to whatever the spirit wants you to talk about, wants you to expound on, you know what I'm saying. That's what we got to do, man. All right. And the spirit brought me back into the subject, you know what I'm saying, while I was at work. All right, while I was at work. And what I was doing was I was preparing to weld the sheet metal. And before I welded the sheet metal, first I was gonna bevel it, you know what I'm saying, then fit it and then weld it. But before I did any of that, just to make just to shorten this whole thing, before I continued with the process, I noticed that there was a whole shit ton of rust on this sheet metal. You know what I'm saying? A whole crap ton of rust. So before I can even go on with prepping this thing, or shall I say welding this thing and getting it together, all right, I gotta prep it. I gotta clean off all this rust. All right, you know what I'm saying? Just drown it with WD-40 and get the Brillo out, you know what I'm saying? Start scrubbing away at all this rust, you know what I'm saying? And even with that, all right, using all the force that you got, like I say, I'm a big man, you know what I'm saying? And I put a lot of force in all that rust, and still there was still pieces of it, pockets of it that was still there. You know what I'm saying? Still pockets of it that was still there. I had to scrape all that stuff off and whatnot, you know what I'm saying, trying to smoothen it out. But as I was doing this, you know what I'm saying, the spirit just brought to my mind, you know what I'm saying, the scripture of Sirach chapter 12 and verse 10. You know what I'm saying? Never trust thine enemy. Let's get that real quick. All right, bear with me. All right. All right, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 12 and verse 10. It says, never trust thine enemy. Never trust thine enemy. For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Verse 11, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. All right. It doesn't matter how buddy these people want to be with you. It doesn't matter how kind their words are, you know what I'm saying, how sweet they may be or what have you, whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying, you cannot forget who these people are, what they are. You cannot forget that. All right, you cannot forget that. This is the number one problem with our people when it's time to deal with these Edomites. All right, they always leave wiggle room. They always leave this what's the word? this benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? They always leave that for the Edomites. They don't leave that for anybody else. They leave that for the Edomites, man. Every time when these jokers come up against us at camp, you know what I'm saying? When they come against the doctrine and whatnot, all right, they don't care about nobody else except these Edomites. Their concern in terms of salvation, in regards to salvation, it's not for the Moabites, for so-called Japanese to get salvation. It's not about Chinese, all right, West Asians, you know what I'm saying, such as the Arabs, so-called, you know what I'm saying, the Persians. They're not caring about any of that. They don't care about any of that. They don't care about their own people, man. They care about what's going on with Edom. They care about what's going on with Edom. You see? It says, so though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. Okay? You had all these different instances like Dylan Roof, you know what I'm saying? All these jokers, they just roll up into your churches and they blast everybody out. You know what I'm saying? They go to your protests or they go to your gatherings, they go to your cookouts and they blast, you know, they start blasting off and all that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? All right, they start honking out, as the elder Yashawamba says. You see what I'm saying? And what happens? You niggas always give them a pass. You always give them the pass, man. All right? But as the Spirit brought to my attention while I was at work, you know what I'm saying, that this rust is not going away. This spiritual rust is not going away, man, because the situation that we have between Jacob and Esau is not, it's not on this surface level where all these niggas want to say, oh, it's because they hate us for our melanin. They hate us because they're jealous of our melanin. No, man. You got to understand what this is really about. You see what I'm saying? This thing runs so deep that your average everyday Edomite can't tell you why they despise you, Jakes. They can't tell you that. They have no clue, all right, how to address this situation. You see what I'm saying? Because it's spiritual and it's prophetic. You have to go back to the source. You see what I'm saying? You got to go all the way back to Genesis, the 25th chapter, to understand who Jacob and Esau is. You see what I'm saying? So again, it says, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass. A looking glass is used for investigating. You see what I'm saying? A looking glass is used to look closer, to look deeper at the problem. You see what I'm saying? And if you don't have a working knowledge of this fundamental principle and this point that's being made regarding these Edomites, you're not going to understand what's really at play. You're not going to understand what's really at stake here. You see what I'm saying? Because the higher ups of these Edomites, we're talking about the billionaires, the trillionaires. You know what I'm saying? The elite families. They know what's at stake. They know what this is all about, man. You see what I'm saying? They know this. And they know that they have a very limited amount of time in order for them to achieve all their goals, to try and, in their own mind, reclaim this birthright that their forefather had sold. You see what I'm saying? And it says, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. You see what I'm saying? You got to dig deep into this thing, man. You got to look deeper. You got to stop ignoring what it is that you're seeing. You got to stop pretending. You got to stop pretending like, oh, well, not all of them are bad. Not this and that. You gotta get out of that. You gotta get out of that scenario, man. Get out of that mode. Because I was listening to the Elder Malcolm. Lesson the other day, and you know what I'm saying, he was talking about shit. I lost my train of thought. Salaki. Damn sirens in the background. Shit. What was the elder talking about? I know he was going into this. I know he was going into the situation with Nolan Wells, but you know, oh yeah, Khan. So he was mentioning about the fact that well, not all the Israelites were bad. You know what I'm saying? Back in the ancient days, not all the Israelites were bad. Yet we all collectively had to go through the curses. We all collectively had to go through we all have to go through Jacob's trouble. You know what I'm saying? We all had to, at that time, we all had to go through captivity. You see what I'm saying? So these Edomites are gonna have to all collectively receive their judgment. You know what I'm saying? I was listening to the Elder Ashiyar's video, and he was going into the fact that all this all the evidence surrounding this case is etchy. You know what I'm saying? Because they know they did it. One of you jakes gonna figure it out. You see what I'm saying? When you gonna figure it out, man? And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped the looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. Remember these words and be pricked therewith. Be, you know what I'm saying? Be notified. Be focused. Focus on these things. Stop ignoring these signals. Stop ignoring everything that you know, because they show you more than they can tell you. All right? And everything moving forward from this point, that's on you, Jake. That's on you. You see what I'm saying? It's on you. So, you know, I got a couple more thoughts that's circling around my mind, but you know, it's a little jumbled at this point in time. I just wanted to touch on this. You know what I'm saying? Understand that you have enemies, Jacob. You have enemies, and they want your head. You see? They want your head. And very soon, you know what I'm saying, when they come for us, you know what I'm saying, and take attack this gospel, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, they really gonna show their ass, man. All right, they really gonna show their ass. So, I was thinking about something. Shit, what was I thinking about? It was another precept. It was a good precept too. Salakia. Let me see. Bear with me real quick. All right, Khan, this is the precept I was looking for. Thawada Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. Sirach chapter 8 and verse 16. Sirach chapter 8 verse 16. Strive not with an angry man, and go not with him into a solitary place. For blood is as nothing in his sight, and where there is no help, he will overthrow thee. This is exactly what we just saw. This is precisely what we just saw with Nolan Wells. I was about to say Nolan West. Nolan Wells. You see what I'm saying? This is exactly what we saw with Nolan Wells. All right? Strive not with an angry man. What was going on? They was in an argument. They got into an argument. They got into a scuffle or whatever. You know what I'm saying? An altercation. Strive not with an angry man, and go not with him into a solitary place. Do you really think that they weren't showing signals before this whole trip to an island? Don't you think that they were showing Jake signals? All right? These Edomites, if you give them the floor long enough, they will show you who they are. All right? So I know that there had to have been signals somewhere. There had to have been signs that Jake always tends to ignore for some odd reason. You see what I'm saying? And then you decide to go to the solitary place, all right, You got video that's out where these jokers is laughing at him, you know what I'm saying, and making making ape sounds. All right? This is who you dealing with, Jake. Strive not with an angry man, and go not with him unto a solitary place, for blood is as nothing in his sight. And where there is no help, he will overthrow thee. There was no help for Jake on that island. There was no help. He was alone. He was alone with his enemies. You see what I'm saying? For blood is as nothing in his sight. When you go to the book of Ezekiel, you know what I'm saying? And it tells you straight up, all right, that blood is nothing to these people. Let me get that real quick. Right? All right, what is it? Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse 1. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, all right, the land of these Edomites, and prophesy against it, and say unto it, Thus saith the Lord power, Behold, O Mount Seir. It's talking about Edomites as a whole. Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. You see what I'm saying? All this is going to come upon Esau's head, man. No one gets away. No one gets away for what they've done. You see what I'm saying? And you Edomites, you devils, have laid your hands on the apple of the Lord's eye. You see what I'm saying? Which would be the Israelites, his chosen people, man. You see what I'm saying? Verse 5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Yashar'Allah, the children of Israel, by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power, I will prepare unto thee blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. You see what I'm saying? And as we read in Sirach chapter 8, verse 16, for blood is as nothing in his sight. So you Jakes better get with the program, man. All right? You better get with the program, because these warnings ain't going to be here forever. They're not going to be here forever, man. All right? But I just wanted to touch on that, you know what I'm saying? And you know, do what the Spirit commands, you know what I'm saying? Because the Spirit is like the wind, all right? You may not want to touch on a certain topic, but the Spirit continues to draw you to what needs to be spoken about, man, because these lessons will not be here much longer. So get with the program, Jake. It's no time left for you to be playing games out here, all right? And ignoring what the Lord is showing you and what he's telling you through his men. So I'm going to cut that there, man. I pray this lesson was edifying through the Ruach HaKodesh, all right, through the Holy Spirit. This has been your brother Zakaria Allah, branched out here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. In closing, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto our power, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, of whom I've grown in this truth under. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom.